Okay, just before we move on to looking at something more useful and actually rendering out some views and working with controllers, let's take a look at root groups because these can help tidy up your routes. You can imagine if you had lots of different routes in your application, this would soon get really messy and you would have a long list of routes that you couldn't really maintain. Now, root groups allow you to do a couple of things. Quite a few things. They allow you to define a group out like this, passing in a list of options, which we'll take a look at in just a moment, a closure in here, which you can then further define routes out in, and then you can just kind of organize your routes in a nice way. If you're an organized person, root groups will help you out. So let's take a look at registering a couple of routes. Let's say that we had, for example, a user's account area or profile area. We're probably going to have things like the user's profile. So let's just go ahead and create a closure in here and return just a string for now, profile. And we might also have the ability for the user or a page for the user to update their password as well. So we'll switch the string over here to password. Now all of these might come under /users. So what we could traditionally do if we weren't using a root group is define these out like this: users/profile and users/password, or user password and user profile. So let's come over to the browser, head over to user profile, and of course we see profile and the same for password as well. So that's pretty obvious. But if we wanted this user prefix, we can utilize a group to make that happen. So let's go ahead and get rid of the /user. Let's take both of these roots and place them inside of this group. And then let's start to look at some of the options that we can provide in here. So one of the options is a prefix. So we could say, well, we want all of these roots to be registered under the /user prefix. What that will do, and again, if we head over to our artisan console and run root list, is get /user/password and /user/profile. So these have been registered with this option to be prefixed with user. And this makes it a lot easier because then you have a group here for all of your user settings like profile and password. Later on, when we start learning about controllers, you can also give these a common namespace as well. I don't want to touch too much on this just yet, but you might have a users folder for lots of controllers, and that would allow you to hook these up to your controllers a little bit better. We also have things like the ability to apply middleware to multiple routes as well. And again, we'll take a look at that a little bit later. But this is a really helpful concept as you get a little bit more advanced within Laravel and you start building up some real apps. You can start using root groups to organize these. What you can also do is apply middleware to the end of these groups. It's really entirely up to you how you structure your routes. But at least you know now groups exist and you can use them to keep your route set nice and organized.